You hatch inside a cloud of eggs. Not hundreds, not thousands, 200,000. Your mother spent 60 days without eating, without sleeping, without leaving, just fanning those eggs with her arms, pushing away predators, expelling parasites. She wasted away until she was nearly transparent. By the time the last egg opens, the one that is you, she is already dead. You will never know her. You are the size of a grain of rice, 3 millimeters. You weigh less than a wet strand of hair, and already inside that nearly invisible mass, you have a fully functional brain with 500 million neurons. For comparison, a mouse has 71 million. You are not a simple invertebrate. You are the most intelligent animal without a skeleton that has ever existed on this planet. You solve mazes, you use tools, you recognize individual human faces and hold grudges against people who treated you badly. And you will live at most 2 years, not by bad luck, not by disease, because that is how your code works. Welcome. At some point in the next 24 months, you will stop eating. You will curl inward on yourself. You will begin to dissolve from the inside out. Not because something attacked you, not because you lost a fight, because your own body will receive the signal and it will shut down. You will die knowing this. That is the cruelest part, not the death, the awareness of it. You rise toward the light, not by choice. It is a chemical impulse older than any decision. Most of your 200,000 siblings do the same. An arrow-shaped shrimp is already eating the ones that rise too slowly. You survive because you survive. There is no other logic here. In the coming days, you will learn something no biology textbook explains well. You think with your arms. 2/3 of your neurons do not live in your brain. They are distributed across your 8 tentacles. Each arm makes independent decisions. While one arm explores a crevice on the left, another is already prying open a crab on the right, and your central brain is still processing what happened 3 seconds ago. It is like having 8 co-pilots who do not need permission to act. No vertebrate works this way. You are an architecture of intelligence that evolution never repeated in anyone else. You have 8 arms that think independently, each capable of acting without asking your brain for permission. If you could have 2 brains running in parallel, one handling rational decisions, the other running on instinct, do you think you'd make better choices? Or would you collapse? Tell me in the comments. And while you think about that, keep watching. You are 6 weeks old and already hunting. You have learned to change color in 300 milliseconds. It is not pigment, it is physical structure. You contract and expand cells called chromatophores, and light bends differently around you. You do not just change color, you replicate textures, you replicate 3-dimensional patterns. A coral, a rock, a piece of seaweed, you mimic everything with a precision that high-definition cameras can barely capture. For an animal that is colorblind, that is the paradox that will follow you your entire life. You are a master of disguise who cannot see the colors you imitate. You read light through your skin. Photoreceptors in your dermis capture the surrounding spectrum and send the signal directly to the chromatophores, bypassing your brain entirely. You do not decide the color. You simply become the color. It is like being a perfect translator of a language you never studied and will never understand. You hunt a crab twice your size, paralyze it with venom, eat at your own pace. Your stomach is satisfied for the first time. You have a home now, a den between rocks that you decorated with shells and leftover prey. You rearrange the space. You test different layouts. Researchers who observe you in laboratory tanks call this aesthetic behavior. You do not know they are watching. You only know that something feels right when things are in the place you chose. Skip ahead 3 months. You weigh 200 grams. Your longest tentacle spans 30 centimeters. You have already solved 2 mazes in laboratory tanks. But you are in the ocean, so no one knows that. You have opened screw-top jars to reach crabs inside. You have used a coconut shell as a portable shield. And you are completely alone. Not lonely in the human sense, But the octopus is solitary in a way that biology rarely produces in animals this intelligent. Dolphins need groups to develop cognitive skills. Crows learn from each other. Chimpanzees have social culture passed down across generations. You have none of that. Everything you know, you figured out by yourself. There is no older octopus to teach you. There is no tradition. There is no accumulation. Every generation starts from zero. All the intelligence you carry will die with you and pass to no one. You are a genius who reinvents the wheel alone, every time, forever. One morning, an eel enters your den. You flee. You lose the territory you built. The eel does not stay. It just wanted to explore, but you do not go back. Because octopuses do not return to places of risk. You will build another den with other shells, in another arrangement. You will redo everything, without the memory that it was easier before, because that memory is useless to you now. You do not ruminate. You act. That is the difference between cold intelligence and warm intelligence. Skip forward. You are 18 months old. For an octopus, that is middle age. You are at your peak. Your reflexes are sharp. Your camouflage is precise. Your mental map of the territory has dozens of marked points. And then something happens that has no equivalent in the human world. Your brain begins receiving a hormonal signal from the optic glands. Two small structures sitting right against your eyes. That signal did not come from outside. It is not a disease. It is not a parasite. It is your own endocrine system flipping a switch that has never been turned off since your species first existed. The signal says reproduce and then stop. In the male, the longest right arm begins to function differently. It stops capturing prey. Stops exploring. It specializes. It delivers sperm packets to the female from a safe distance, because the female octopus frequently eats the male during mating. You feel this as compulsion, not decision. If you are female, the process is different and longer. You will find a larger den. You will lay eggs, 20,000, 50,000, up to 200,000 depending on the species. You will stop hunting to stand guard. You will burn your own muscle mass to produce mucus and fan those eggs. Your body weight will drop 30% in the first few weeks. You will start behaving strangely. You will pick up rocks and throw them. You will bite your own tentacles. It is not pain. It is your nervous system being progressively shut down by the same hormonal signal that started everything. You will slow down. You will stop eating entirely. It is not an attack. It is not a predator. It is you shutting down in slow motion. Muscle cells stop receiving signals. You begin to sink more than you swim. Your tentacles do not respond with the same precision. A crevice you used to navigate without thinking now requires effort. A crab that you would have caught in seconds passes right in front of you. You do not try. Not because you gave up, because the signal is stronger than any intention. Researchers who studied this process removed the optic glands from female octopuses after the reproductive period. The result is disturbing. Without the hormonal signal, the females resume hunting, resume exploring. They gain weight, they live months longer. In some cases, they nearly doubled their lifespan. What does that mean? That programmed death is not physically inevitable. It is a chemical decision, an instruction the organism executes because it was programmed to do so millions of years ago, most likely because octopuses that died after reproducing did not compete with their offspring for the same resources. You were dying so as not to harm a child that will never know you. It is efficient. It is ruthless. It's the kind of logic that only makes sense once you remove the individual from the equation entirely. Somewhere, 200 meters away, a cloud of eggs begins to stir. 300 of them will hatch today, 200 tomorrow. One of them will rise toward the light faster than the others. It will survive the shrimp. It will reach the seafloor at 3 millimeters, carrying 500 million neurons that have never been used. It will start exploring. It will build a den with shells. It will solve problems no other octopus has ever solved, and that no other octopus will ever know were solved. It will be a genius, completely alone, for 2 years. There are roughly 300 known species of octopus. The largest ever recorded had tentacles spanning 4 meters and weighed 45 kilograms. The smallest fits in a teaspoon. Every single one of them shares the same fate. Born without a mother, living without company, dying on internal command. You were one of them for 12 minutes. Life as an octopus can be brutal. But there is another animal out there in a far crueler situation. That animal does not die after reproducing. It lives for decades, but it spends its entire life locked into a role it never chose, performing the same function in circles, never knowing what lies on the other side of the territory. It is the ant, and the next video is about it. Subscribe, you won't want to miss it.